Heather Locklear once represented everything America loved about fame, beauty, and effortless charm. For years, her presence dominated primetime television. Her name brought audiences, and her image became part of an entire era of entertainment. Yet behind the polished confidence viewers saw on screen was a woman carrying pressures few people understood. Long before the public noticed anything was wrong, Heather's private world was already becoming fragile. This is the story of how Heather Locklear's life slowly moved from admiration to hardship. It did not happen in a single moment. Instead, it unfolded gradually, one chapter at a time. Heather Locklear's rise was neither accidental nor slow. Born on September 25, 1961, in Los Angeles, she grew up in a household shaped by both discipline and creativity. Her father had served as a Marine, while her mother worked as an executive at Disney. From an early age, Heather carried both ambition and sensitivity, though the world mostly saw confidence. In her late teenage years, she was discovered and carefully introduced into the television industry. With guidance from her management team and a publicity system that understood exactly what audiences wanted, Heather quickly became one of television's earliest carefully marketed stars. Her first major breakthrough came when she was cast as Sammy Jo Carrington on Dynasty. The role transformed her into a recognizable name across America. At first, Heather struggled with the demands of television acting. Timing, delivery, and even simple stage movements were challenges she had to learn quickly. Some producers quietly questioned whether she would succeed in such a competitive environment. But Heather responded with determination. She listened to criticism, practiced constantly, and slowly reshaped her performance. The experience did more than make her famous. It trained her under intense pressure and prepared her for the demanding world of television production. By the early 1980s, something unusual happened. Heather Locklear became the first woman in the United States to appear as a regular on two primetime television series at the same time. While Dynasty attracted millions of viewers each week, she was also starring opposite William Shatner on T.J. Hooker. Suddenly she was everywhere. Magazine covers followed one after another. People magazine included her among the most beautiful women in America. Television executives even joked about a simple rule. If ratings were struggling, call Heather Locklear. A major influence on her career was producer Aaron Spelling. He believed strongly in Heather's ability to attract audiences and often referred to her as his lucky charm. That trust eventually led to one of her most memorable roles, Amanda Woodward on Melrose Place. During those years, Heather appeared to embody confidence and control. To viewers, she represented success. Yet behind the scenes, the pressure to maintain a perfect image had already begun to affect her. As her fame grew, expectations surrounding her also intensified. Heather was no longer seen simply as an actress. She had become a brand. Her image had to balance glamour with innocence, strength with warmth. She later spoke about feeling uncomfortable with how strongly some media portrayals focused on her appearance. While audiences admired the glamorous image, Heather often felt disconnected from the version of herself the world expected to see. At the same time, her personal life was becoming increasingly complicated. In 1986, she married Tommy Lee, the drummer of the rock band Motley Crue. The wedding was extravagant and widely covered in the media. Their relationship, however, moved quickly and carried the intense lifestyle that surrounded the music world. Over time, the differences between them became difficult to manage. By 1993, the marriage ended, leaving Heather emotionally shaken, though her professional career remained strong. Only a year later, she married Richie Sambora, guitarist for Bon Jovi. For many fans, the relationship seemed like a fresh start. The couple eventually welcomed their daughter, Ava. For a period of time, Heather appeared to have achieved the family life she had always wanted. But maintaining two high-profile careers placed enormous pressure on their relationship. Constant travel, filming schedules, and media attention slowly weakened their stability. In 2006, Heather filed for divorce, surprising many people who believed the marriage was stable. Shortly afterward, Sambora began a relationship with actress Denise Richards, someone Heather had once considered a close friend. The emotional impact of that situation was profound. Losing a marriage was already painful, but the involvement of a trusted friend made the experience even more difficult. The same year also brought another loss when Aaron Spelling passed away. Heather lost not only a professional supporter but also someone who had believed in her abilities from the beginning. These events, combined with years of intense work, began to affect her emotional well-being. Anxiety and depression slowly became more visible, marking the start of a difficult period in her life. By the late 2000s, Heather's struggles were becoming harder to hide. In 2008, she entered a medical facility in Arizona to receive treatment for anxiety and depression. Public statements described the decision carefully, but those close to her understood that she was facing serious personal challenges. Doctors evaluated her medications and worked to address underlying emotional stress that had accumulated for years. For the first time in decades, Heather was removed from the constant demands of Hollywood. Without the pressure of performing or maintaining a public image, she faced the deeper issues that had been building quietly beneath the surface. When she returned home later that year, friends said she appeared calmer and hopeful. However, maintaining stability proved difficult. Over the following years, several incidents placed her personal life back into headlines. Each event added to the narrative that the once dominant television star was struggling to regain balance. By 2012, another emergency call from her home resulted in hospitalization following concerns about medication and alcohol use. Those close to her described a repeating pattern of recovery attempts followed by setbacks. This period represented a prolonged battle with emotional exhaustion and personal pressure. The situation reached a dramatic point in 2018 when police responded to a domestic disturbance at her home involving her partner Chris Heiser. The encounter resulted in legal charges and widespread media coverage. For many longtime fans, the images circulating online were shocking. The contrast between the glamorous television star of previous decades and the reality now being reported was difficult to ignore. Following the incident, the court required Heather to enter treatment, remain on probation, and avoid alcohol. Rehabilitation programs became part of her routine as she worked toward stability. By that time, she had already attended treatment programs many times over the years. Each attempt represented hope for improvement, but long-term change required daily commitment. Recovery, unlike acting, could not be performed for an audience. It required personal determination and patience. During these years, one person remained consistently present in her life: her daughter Ava Sambora. While the public often saw only headlines, Ava experienced the reality of a mother working to OV.